Frank mentioned that you served together with Marines.
Infantry, 141st Regiment.
I know you hear this all the time, but thank you for your service.
The long game. Who is Frank?
Frank is your typical guy of that era who fought World War II and, came back and was, felt a little lost, even though he'd saved the world for democracy and, living in South Texas. And he's the head pro at this country club where these 5 Mexican-American kids, this is a true story, worked as caddies, but they couldn't play at this country club.
I don't want to be a member of just any club. I want to play here.
I got to consider our other members, and they are just not used to seeing a Mexican on the golf course.
They built their own golf course out in the desert with what was 1 hole and 5 ways to come to it, and started their own golf team at their high school.
How would you boys like to be the first members of the San Felipe High School golf team?
Us.
They asked me to join the new golf team today.
Golf? I'm gonna bring your sombrero anyway, man. Whenever you're invited to a gringo party, you're either the entertainment or the help.
Let me ask you something. Are they any good?
Nope. They won the Texas State Championship their very first year at the country club where they couldn't play.
It's a beautiful story. What is it you think about Frank that makes him willing to open the door while the door is being shut by others to these young men?
You boys built all this.
Yes, Mr. Mitchell.
Sorry, boys. When we spoke on the phone, I assumed you were American.
Well, you assume right.
He sees this golf course that these kids have, built out of this craggy desert, and realizes their dedication and their genuineness and love for the game, and it touches him.
Where do you think that skill, that talent, that drive in these young men came from? I mean, it's incredible that they would build their own golf course and then go on to win their first championship. How?
That's not a small feat, I remember in Texas, I remember separate bathrooms, separate drinking fountains, separate parts of the theater that that people had to sit in with different concession stands. It was like 2 different countries going on at the same time. And I just remember how, back then, how weird that was. This movie reminds me, and hopefully all of us, of how far we've come as a people and where we used to be, and where do we go from here?
Why do you think it's important to tell and share stories like this today? Because this goes back to 1950s. Why is this today in 2024 important, you think?
The American dream is still alive. It's still out there. It might seem easier to some people who have privilege and stuff like that, but it requires hard work.
Now, these teams, they've had access to a lot of things you boys haven't, but the best golfer isn't the one with the fanciest clubs. It's the one who can summon the will to keep swinging when things get tough.
I think it's really important to singularly hold on to all these separate cultures, because that's what makes us strong.
People need to see us as more than just caddies and cannon fodder.
That's just life. Sometimes you land on the green, sometimes you're in the bunker, but you always play it as it lies.